guys, today I have a video for you using the May-June quirky kit, and this is quite an exciting one because it is a collab with a lady called Anna who has the YouTube channel Grace Islander. She's doing a July scrapathon where every day of July she's posting a YouTube video with a challenge, and the challenge for this video is using a large photo. This photo may not look that large to you, but it feels bigger in real life than on the picture, firstly. Like, it does cover most of a 12 by 12 width, and also I use quite small photos normally, and it's kind of long and rather than square, so that does make it a bit harder. Basically, I did find this a challenge, even if it looks like it's not a challenge from the video. So my idea for this layout was to cut banners out of pattern papers and then stick them behind the photo. I think the trick when using a large photo is you don't want a huge amount of layers behind the photo because the photo is already quite large and it'll just make it harder. I mean, unless the only design element is the layers behind the photo. For example, if I put layers behind this photo and I had the banners would have to be huge in order to be even seen. So while I cut some banners, I can explain to you a bit more about the July Scrapathon. So there's a Facebook group, which I'm going to link below, and for each project you do, challenge, you get an entry into the grand prize. And the grand prize is international only, but I think some of the challenges are no, not international, is US only, but I think some of the challenges are going to have international giveaways or like prizes, and the grand prize is a $20 gift card for a scrapbooking supply shop called April Lily, which is sponsoring the whole thing, I think. Well, at least contributing the gift card, and so I'm going to leave a link to that shop below as well. I'm one of the internationals, so I couldn't get that prize anyway, but I might be looking into some of the international ones. And then the channel Grace Islander also has a YouTube video introducing the whole thing, so I'm going to leave that below as well. So I'm just cutting these banners, so I'm jumping all over the place between explaining things and then going back to my process. So I'm cutting the banners in different lengths and widths to try and make it a bit more interesting. I'm trying to pick the kind of bluey colours just because the first paper I chose was bluey, and then I decided to make all of the rest of them kind of match. And there's a fair amount of bluey coloured papers in this kit. I will admit I have been finding this particular kit quite hard to use personally, just because it's just not really my style. I'm more into brighter colours, and there's quite a lot of more muted colours. So this whole kit has been a challenge for me, basically. And my videos just stopped. So yeah, I'm thinking about now where I'm going to put some journaling. The picture I should have mentioned is of a dinner with me and my friends for my friend's birthday, and I decided to make the whole page about what we did for each of our birthdays, because it's a group of us from my dance school. So I want somewhere to put the journaling spot that's going to say what we did. Another tip I have for the banners is you can't actually see the whole banner, so if you have something that's a bit too short, just cut it in half, it's fine. You can't really tell. Well, you can't tell at all. You'd have to be looking very carefully and with a ruler, unless I stuck it very wonky, which I almost do. So what I go for in the end with the journaling spot is a little card with the month that the birthday was in, with the journaling about what we did on the birthday next to it, and it fits into the bottom of a glassine bag that we got the washi tape from the kitten. So I thought that was quite a cute way to hold the journaling. You can see it there. So I use a roller month stamp that we got with the quirky kit quite a while ago now. And I mess it up the first time, and I don't notice for a while, so it's going to stay like this for a while. But basically, I put the first month as the wrong month. I put it as February when my friend's birthday was actually in January. And if my friend sees this, she might be a bit annoyed by that. And then I stamped all of the months and then the journaling, and I realised, because 2 of the months have 2 of our birthdays in, and one line wasn't enough space for 2 birthdays, so I have to kind of squish it in and I just mess it up quite a lot, which I found quite annoying. I was having one of those like slightly stressful days where I was like, just relax. I was telling myself, it's just scrapbooking. I just need to relax, but it's just kind of adding to the stress. I had several instances where I just couldn't find any, like my supplies, couldn't find my washi tape. You can see washi tape behind the black ink there. Later on, I cut it out, but I spent ages looking for that washi tape when it's right there. I also lost my scissors when they were right there. It's all very frustrating. But it turned out alright in the end. So for the title, I decided to go for a technique I've done a few times before, where you use a fine liner to freehand draw bubble writing onto a pattern paper, and then you cut around the bubble writing, leaving a little gap. And I think it is quite a cute way of doing titles. It's very it looks very homemadey. As you can see, it took me quite a few tries to get the S. I know it looks like I'm wasting a lot of paper by doing that, but the thing is, I got 2 sheets of that paper, and I really like the black and white dots on the other side, but honestly I'm not a huge fan of this green side, so I wasn't too worried about using it up. I apologise, I keep yawning. I don't know what's going on with me. So I skipped forward a bit for you. There you can see all of the letters cut out, and it's just a really good way, you can see how it matches one of the banners within the banners. It's just a really good way of making the whole layout more cohesive, and you can personalize the shape. If you're good at hand lettering, you can personalize the style. I have kind of one style, and that's messy 3-year-old's bubble writing. And I just wrote 2017 below the birthdays, because the idea is that it's the birthdays, like what we did for our birthdays this year, not just what we do for our birthdays in general. So I quite like using the washi tape in the banners. It's a bit of a different texture. I think it's quite nice. And you might have noticed throughout this video I'm using the tape very frugally. That's because I'm low on the roll and I keep forgetting that I need to get some more. And I don't want to run out. I think I'll have some time to get some more next week, so I can start splashing the tape as opposed to the cash. So I think, no, I'm not sure actually. Oh yeah, here's where I realised that I just couldn't deal with how wrong my card went. So I redo it, and I use a translucent Heidi Swap word sticker to make a title, because on the other side it said remember, and I really like that. And one of the stickers said remember this, and it was exactly the right width. So I was like, it's fate that it went wrong on the first side, even if it did upset me. And I am not good at stamping at all. It's very wonky. It's partly why I put it in a glassine bag, so that it wouldn't be so obvious. Also, I think glassine bags are quite useful for this, because it makes the whole journaling thing a bit less of a statement, but you can still read through the glassine bag, so you don't actually have to take your whole layout out to read it, which I think is rather nice. And I thought a cute little bow there. Another thing with the large photos is, I think there's kind of 2 ways you can go about it. You can probably embellish it a lot, or do what I did and not embellish it much at all. That's finished layout. I've got my Instagram and all the other links I mentioned before down below. Thanks very much for watching. Bye!